It always begins with something small, something you almost brush off. A sound in the middle of the night, a flicker of static on the line, a memory that won't stop replaying in your mind. For William Carter, a widower living just outside Pittsburgh, it all began with a phone call. It was October of 2012. William had been alone for 6 months. His wife, Margaret, had passed away suddenly from a stroke. She was just 54. One moment she was laughing with him in the kitchen, the next she was on the floor, and his life as he knew it was gone. Since then, the house had felt unbearably empty, too quiet, too hollow. William had grown used to silence, but silence isn't the same as peace. Silence has a way of amplifying things that are better left unheard. And then, one night, at exactly 3 a.m., his phone rang. William was asleep in his recliner in the living room when the shrill ring jolted him awake. He looked at the clock. 3 on the dot. Nobody ever called him at that hour. Nobody had reason to. He picked up the receiver. Hello? Silence. He frowned, rubbed his eyes. Hello? Who is this? On the other end, there was only static, a faint hiss. He was about to hang up when something shifted in the background. A breath? Soft, slow, human. Hello. William asked again, his voice sharper now. Click. The line went dead. He sat there in the dark, his heart pounding, telling himself it was probably just a wrong number, a glitch, nothing more. But when he checked the caller ID, his stomach dropped. It was Margaret's number. William didn't sleep the rest of that night. He kept staring at the phone, half convinced it would ring again, half hoping it wouldn't. By morning, he had talked himself out of his fear. Technology was strange. Numbers recycled, lines crossed. It was probably just some technical hiccup. Nothing paranormal, nothing sinister. But 2 nights later, at 3 o'clock a.m. sharp, the phone rang again. And again, the caller ID displayed Margaret's number. This time, William didn't answer. He just stared at it, shaking, until it stopped. The third time, however, his curiosity overpowered his fear. He picked up, hand trembling. Who is this? And that's when he heard it. Not silence, not static, but a voice. A whisper, low, cracked, familiar. Will, the sound sent a chill through him. It was Margaret's voice. He knew it in his bones. The way she used to say his name when she wanted his attention. His throat tightened. Margaret? But there was no reply, only breathing. He tried again. Who is this? This isn't funny. The whisper came again, quieter this time, as if the voice was straining to reach him from somewhere very far away. Will, please. The line cut off. William dropped the receiver. He sat in the dark, his hands shaking, his mind racing. It wasn't possible. She was gone. He had buried her. He had stood at her grave, and yet, over the next week, the calls continued. Always at 3 o'clock a.m., always from Margaret's number. Sometimes it was silence, sometimes static. But more often than not, he heard her, just a whisper, sometimes only a word. Cold, please. Here, it was never more than fragments, never a full sentence. But William became obsessed. He stopped sleeping properly, waiting for the phone to ring. He stopped seeing friends, stopped answering other calls. His world shrank down to that living room, that chair, that phone, because as terrifying as it was, it also gave him something he had lost connection. A piece of Margaret, a reason to hope, and yet, he couldn't ignore how wrong it felt. Because sometimes, the voice didn't sound exactly like her. Sometimes it dragged out syllables in ways she never would. Sometimes it was too low, too harsh, like something imitating her rather than being her. But William didn't want to believe that. He clung to the possibility that somehow, someway, his wife was reaching out from the other side. On the 9th night, the call was different. This time, when he answered, the whisper was sharp, urgent. Well, don't let him in. William froze. What? Don't let who in? The line crackled violently, almost like screaming through static, and then cut off. He sat there, clutching the receiver, his mind spinning. What did she mean? Don't let who in? At that moment, a loud knock echoed through the house. 3 sharp raps against the front door. William's blood turned to ice. Slowly, he turned his head toward the door. Knock, knock, knock. It was 3:05 a.m. He didn't move. He didn't breathe. The knocking continued, slow and deliberate, shaking the door on its hinges. Finally, it stopped. William sat frozen until dawn. He never saw who or what was on the other side. But the next night, the call came again. This time, Margaret's voice was broken, panicked. "He's in the house." The line cut off. William dropped the phone and scrambled to turn on every light in the house. He searched every room, every closet, every corner. Nothing. No one. But when he checked the back door, he saw it. The lock was broken. After that, William was never the same. He kept the lights on at all times. He started setting up chairs against the doors, stacking pans in front of windows to make noise if someone broke in. But the calls didn't stop. If anything, they grew worse. Sometimes the voice wept. Sometimes it laughed. Once, it recited their wedding vows in a distorted tone that made his skin crawl. And sometimes, it said things Margaret never could have known. Things William had never told her. Dark secrets from his past. Like the time he had driven home drunk and hit a stray dog, leaving it to die on the side of the road. Like the time he had lied to his boss to cover up a mistake that cost another man his job. Like the night before Margaret's death, when he had wished just for a fleeting second that life would be easier without her. The voice whispered these things, one by one, until William couldn't stand it anymore. He called the phone company. They said the calls weren't traceable. They weren't even coming from a registered line. He called the police. They checked the house, the yard, the neighborhood. Nothing. He called his pastor. The pastor told him to pray, but nothing worked. By November, William was a shell of himself. He barely ate. He rarely left the house. His eyes were bloodshot, his voice cracked from lack of sleep. And then came the final call. It was 3:00 a.m. sharp. The phone rang. Hands shaking, William picked up. "Will." The voice was softer now, almost tender. "Margaret," he whispered. "Is it really you?" A pause. Then, "Come to me." His breath hitched. "Where?" The voice gave an address, one he didn't recognize. "Out on the edge of town, near an abandoned steel mill." "Please, Will, I'm waiting." Click. The line went dead. Against every instinct, every shred of logic, William grabbed his coat and keys. He drove through the empty streets, his headlights cutting through the fog. The steel mill loomed ahead, a hulking shadow against the night sky. The address led him to a crumbling office building on the property. The windows were shattered, the door hung open. Inside, the air was damp, heavy with rust and decay. His footsteps echoed as he called out, "Margaret." No answer. He moved deeper inside, following the sound of faint static, like a radio out of tune. The sound grew louder, pulling him toward the basement. At the bottom of the stairs, he found an old rotary phone sitting on a broken desk. The receiver dangled off the hook, emitting that same hiss he had heard night after night. His chest tightened. Slowly, he lifted it to his ear. "Will," her voice, clearer than ever. "Margaret? Where are you?" "I'm here." The static swelled, drowning the words, until suddenly the line went dead. And then, behind him, a door slammed shut. The next morning, William's car was found abandoned outside the steel mill. The engine still warm, the keys still in the ignition. But William Carter was never seen again, and yet, neighbors near his old home swear that sometimes, at exactly 3 a.m., the phone in his empty house still rings.